Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. Thank you for stopping by. This story is written for intermediate English learners. Support the channel and become a member. You can find the link in the description box below or click join. Ready? Let's get started. B1, B2 English Story. English History. England has a long and interesting history. Let's take a journey through some key events that have shaped the country. The Romans in Britain. The Romans came to Britain in 43 AD. They built towns, roads, and walls. One famous wall is Hadrian's Wall in the north of England. The Romans stayed for nearly 400 years and brought many new things to Britain, like baths and central heating. They also influenced the English language. The Anglo-Saxons. After the Romans left, the Anglo-Saxons came. They were people from Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. They created many small kingdoms and were mostly farmers. The Anglo-Saxons built wooden houses and churches and brought their language, which is the base of modern English. The Vikings. In the 8th century, the Vikings started to raid England. They came from Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. The Vikings were fierce warriors and skilled sailors. They settled in parts of England and mixed with the Anglo-Saxons. This period was full of battles. The Norman Conquest. In 1066, William the Conqueror from Normandy, now part of France, invaded England. He won the Battle of Hastings and became king. The Normans built strong stone castles and introduced the feudal system. They also brought many French words into the English language. The Middle Ages. During the Middle Ages, England experienced many changes. The Black Death, a deadly plague, killed many people in the 14th century. There were also wars, like the 100 Years' War between England and France. Castles, knights, and medieval villages were common in this period. The Tudors. The Tudor period began in 1485 with King Henry VII. His son, Henry VIII, is famous for having 6 wives and breaking away from the Roman Catholic Church. His daughter, Queen Elizabeth I, is known for the Elizabethan era. This was a time of exploration and culture, with famous people like William Shakespeare. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started in the late 18th century. It was a time of great change. Factories were built and machines made production faster. People moved from the countryside to towns and cities to work. This period saw many inventions and advancements. The World Wars. In the 20th century, England was involved in 2 world wars. The First World War from 1914 to 1918 and the Second World War from 1939 to 1945 were difficult times. Many people fought and lost their lives. After the wars, England worked hard to rebuild. Modern England. Today, England is a mix of old and new. Historic buildings stand next to modern skyscrapers. English people enjoy a variety of cultures, foods, and traditions. Education is important, and many famous universities, like Oxford and Cambridge, are in England. Sports like football, cricket, and rugby are very popular. England's history is long and diverse. From the Romans to the modern day, each period has left its mark. Learning about history helps us understand how England became the country it is today. It also shows us how people lived and what they valued in different times. Understanding history is important for understanding the present and shaping the future. Now, let's go through some of the vocabulary you have just read. We'll start with some advanced vocabulary. Plague. A plague is a disease that spreads quickly and kills many people. The Black Death was a deadly plague that killed many people in the 14th century. We have a story all about the plague if you're interested in exploring it. Raid. A raid is a sudden attack by enemies. In the 8th century, the Vikings started to raid England. Warrior. A warrior is a person who fights in battles. The Vikings were fierce warriors and skilled sailors. Conqueror. A conqueror is someone who wins control of a place through military force. William the Conqueror invaded England in 1066. Now, let's move on to the B1, B2 intermediate vocabulary. Skyscraper. A skyscraper is a very tall building. Modern England has historic buildings standing next to modern skyscrapers. Battle. A battle is a fight between two groups. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 changed English history. Central. Central means being in the middle of something. For example, central London is expensive. Common. Common means happening often or found in many places. Castles, knights, and medieval villages were common in the Middle Ages. Conclusion. A conclusion is the end or finish of something. In conclusion, England's history is long and diverse. Created, or to create, means made or brought into existence. The Anglo-Saxons created many small kingdoms in England. Experienced, or to experience, means to have gone through or felt something. England experienced many changes during the Middle Ages. Exploration. Exploration means travelling to new places to learn about them. The Elizabethan era was a time of exploration and culture. Fought. Fought means engaged in battle or struggle. Fought is the past tense of to fight. Many people fought and lost their lives in the world wars. Historic. Historic means having importance in history. For example, we visited historic landmarks. Introduced, or to introduce, means brought something new to a place. So the Normans introduced many French words into the English language. Inventions. Inventions are new devices or processes created through study and experimentation. The Industrial Revolution saw many inventions and advancements. Involved, or to involve, means to include in an activity or an event. England was involved in 2 world wars in the 20th century. Mostly. Mostly means for the most part, mainly. The Anglo-Saxons were mostly farmers and built wooden houses. To rebuild. To rebuild means to build again after it has been damaged. For example, after the wars, England worked hard to rebuild. Sailor or a sailor. Sailors are people who work on ships. The Vikings were fierce warriors and skilled sailors. Shaped or to shape means influenced or formed something. Each period has shaped the history of England. Deadly. If something is deadly, it causes or is able to cause death. The Black Death was a deadly plague in the 14th century. Diverse. Diverse means showing a great deal of variety. England's history is long and diverse. Era. An era is a long and distinct period in history, or of history. The Tudor era began in 1485 with King Henry VII. Fierce. Fierce means very strong or intense. The Vikings were fierce warriors and skilled sailors. Industrial. Industrial means related to industry or factories. The Industrial Revolution started in the late 18th century. Influenced or to influence means having an effect on something. For example, the Romans influenced the English language. Invaded or to invade means entered a place by force. William the Conqueror invaded England in 1066. Medieval. Medieval means relating to the Middle Ages. Castles, knights, and medieval villages were common in this period. We have some stories about the Stone Age and the medieval times, the Middle Ages, if you're interested in reading those. Production. Production means the process of making or growing something. Machines made production faster during the Industrial Revolution. Revolution. A revolution is a major change in society or government. The Industrial Revolution saw many inventions and advancements. Settled or to settle means to make a place your home. The Vikings settled in parts of England. Skilled. Skilled means having the ability to do something very well. The Vikings were skilled sailors. Stone. Stone is a hard, solid substance that is found in the ground. The Normans built strong stone castles. System. A system is a set of connected things or parts that work together. The Normans introduced the feudal system. Valued or to value means regarded as important or useful. Understanding history helps us to know what people valued in different times. We hope you enjoyed this intermediate, lovely English story. Thank you for stopping by. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Get productive and check out our language learning productivity packs and stories, which are PDFs, on Etsy. Don't forget to use code YouTube10 for 10% off. You can find the link in the description box below. See you soon!